Today in the EU, Paris Olympic Games amid political turmoil and protests.
Set.
2024 Paris Olympics.
Paris Games.
Paris 2024.
The opening ceremony of the Summer Olympic Games in Paris.
As Paris buzzes with preparations for the Olympic Games opening ceremony today, there is an evident excitement in the air. However, the sentiment among Parisians regarding hosting the 2024 Olympic Games appears mixed, with murmurs of protests adding an element of tension. The Olympics are set against a backdrop of significant political instability in France, but how have these tensions and political dramas impacted the event? Hello and welcome. I am Eva Chiori, and this is Today in the EU. In this episode, we're joined by our Paris-based reporter Clara Bauer-Babef to break down the intricacies of the Olympic Games. Hi, Clara.
Hi.
So in Paris, you're getting all ready for the Olympic Games opening ceremony. How is the atmosphere there these days?
Well, I think the Olympic Games mode is activated now. The opening ceremony is today and the pressure is on. Everyone from security to shops, restaurants or hotel is getting ready. All the streets and monuments, even in non-touristic areas, have been decorated with flags with the logo of the Games. And most of the shops sell accessories like flags, wigs, glasses, and makeup. There's also a lot of tourists from all around the world. It's all very exciting.
And what is the general sentiment of Parisians toward hosting the 2024 Olympics? We have been hearing a lot about protests wanting to take place. So what's happening?
Yeah, well, of course, there is this global feeling where everyone is really excited, but there is also a bit of anger because Paris is quite messy these days, if we have to be honest, especially since there are new rules for circulating into the city. And it is a bit unclear for Parisians where they can go or where they cannot go. For example, some streets are fully closed. For some of them, you need a QR code. For others, it's only available to bikes or to taxi. For others, it's only for pedestrians. So it's a bit messy at the moment, but I think we're getting there. And there are also, as you said, two union trades who have called to go on strike today. So the first one is for people working in airports, and the other one is for artists performing during the ceremony. So dancers, musicians, basically they protest against the salaries for the Games.
Mm-hmm. Now, with the Olympics unfolding during a tumultuous period in French politics as well, how have these tensions and political drama shaped the event?
Well, it is fair to say that when Emmanuel Macron announced the dissolution of the National Assembly just after the EU elections, there has been fear indeed of tension that could have had an impact on the security or the organization of the Games. For example, especially if we had a brand new government just before the Games, but for now the government is still the same. And on Wednesday, Macron has called for a political break during the Games. So in the end, the impact of the political drama should be quite limited.
It looks like this year's Olympics are steeped in controversy, from deciding who sings or what to sing, to the infamous debate on whether you can or not swim in the Seine. What key issues have determined public debate in the lead up to the Games?
I think you said it all. For example, at this stage, we still don't know who will be singing for the opening ceremony. There are rumors that it could be French, very famous singer Aya Nakamura, or these days in Paris, we've seen a Canadian singer, Céline Dion. But for now, there's still a bit of uncertainty. And there is also, of course, the quality of the Seine, the water of the Seine, the river of Paris, which has been criticized a lot because a couple of months ago before the Games, the water was not safe enough for athletes to swim in there.
Lorsqu'on nettoie la Seine, bien sûr qu'on va permettre les épreuves des JO, bien sûr que l'on va permettre...
But last week, the mayor of Paris, Anne Hidalgo, took a swim in the Seine and confirmed that the quality was on top for the Games.
Mais moi, oui, j'irai. Quand Je ne vais pas vous donner la date, vous risqueriez d'être là.
Also, Emmanuel Macron has vowed to swim as well, although the exact timing has not been determined yet. But has this information regarding the safety of the water been confirmed by experts or scientists testing the quality of the water?
Yeah, I mean, for the Seine, so there has been like the City Hall, of course, who has done many tests to test the quality of the water. And also there is the Surf Rider Foundation Europe, who is an NGO working on the quality of waters across Europe. And they've done as well their own tests. And they confirmed to me this week that the water was clean enough for the competition to take place in.
And there was also this protest being proposed by the French calling Parisians to go to the scene and poop as a form of showing their opposition.
Yeah, I think this is a very, if not Parisian, but French thing to always protest. So yeah, because I think there's been a little criticism because you have to know that cleaning the Seine was a cost of 1.4 billion euros. So everyone started to say that it was way too much just to clean the river and that French people has many other problems that could have been solved with this billion of euros. So yeah, once they've announced the cost of it, people started to protest like we always do and like to do in France. And one of the protests was the hashtag poop in the Seine.
Another very important thing is the inflation due to the games that has affected the lives of the locals. What are the main points to this, and are there any measures put in place?
Well, one of the biggest increases in terms of prices these days in Paris is the metro ticket. So usually a ticket would cost you 2 euros. But for the whole period of the games, the ticket is now 4 euros. However, it is only for people buying tickets, so mainly tourists. For example, if you have a monthly or yearly subway pass, there is no increase for you. But people, of course, who buy tickets on a daily basis, they've been complaining because they've doubled the price. And then there's also, of course, many shops mainly located in tourist areas who said they would increase their prices, for example, in boulangerie or stuff like that, to make the most profits as they can from the games. And there's also this fear of, the increase of the price of other basic services, like, for example, taking a cab.
Now, much debate is also directed towards how to make sure the event runs smoothly. What security challenges are anticipated for the games, and how are authorities preparing to address them?
Well, security is indeed one of the main challenges of the games, and to prevent any incident, almost all French police will be in Paris in summer, and police from other European countries. For example, we've seen the Guardia Civil from Spain. We've also seen some German police around town. But there's also police from all around the world, like Brazil, Qatar, South Korea. They all arrived in Paris in the past days to give a hand to the French policemen.
Last week, a French union called for mass protests and potential strikes to force President Emmanuel Macron to respect the results of the recent legislative elections. What is happening with that?
Since the outcome of the snap elections, Macron has been criticized for the way he handles the country right now. His political opponents and many French citizens say he created a political mess, did not respect the results, and now does not care about the current situation.
Le pays a besoin d'un gouvernement pour prendre les décisions, préparer un budget, prendre les décisions pour le pays. Et donc, de manière évidente, jusqu'à la mi-août, on doit être concentré sur les jeux. Et puis à partir de là,
Macron spoke on French TV on Tuesday, and he confirmed that there is now a political break for the games, meaning that there will be no new prime minister or government before at least mid-August. And of course, many French citizens protested, saying that he's using the games as an excuse.
He also mentioned that depending on the progress of the discussions after the Olympics, he will appoint a prime minister to form a government. But Clara, what about the day after the Games? What is the estimated aftermath of the Olympic Games?
Well, the Games will end on 8th of September. So after that, everyone will be looking at season 2 of the political drama in France, as many questions remain suspended, like who will be the future prime minister, what the future government will look like, and so on. So we're now entering kind of a double break in France, the Games and also the summer holidays. But no doubt, as soon as September kicks in, French political life will be under the spotlight again.
And on a positive note, what are the locals expecting from the Olympics? Is it all negative?
No. Sometimes French people can go positive as well. No, of course, everyone is expecting a great advantage for the economy, especially for local shops. for restaurants, everything which is related to the touristic sector. But not only in Paris, because there are so many tourists from all around the world that they will go to Paris for the games, but this is also the occasion for them after the games to travel to other places in France. So actually the games, everyone expects the games to be a great economic opportunities for all local shops, restaurants, hotels, bars, and stuff like that.
Thank you very much, Clara. I am Evi Chiori, and this was A Day in the EU podcast. Visit Euractiv to stay on top of the latest news. If you haven't subscribed yet, you can find us on all streaming platforms. You can get in touch with us by leaving a comment or a review on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Your reviews help us a lot to spread the word about our work, but also to understand what topics you like listening to. This episode was produced by Miriam Saenz de Tejada, Nicoleta Yonta, and me. Thank you for tuning in, and we will be back on Monday morning. As part of our commitment to accuracy, inclusion, and transparency, Euractiv is part of the Trust Project.